Russian drones targeted the city of Cherkasy in central Ukraine in overnight attacks. Regional administration had said 4 people were injured in these Russian strikes. The state emergency services, meanwhile, reported that civilian infrastructure, houses and even cars were damaged as a result of this strike. Ukraine's Air Force says that Russia launched 1 ballistic missile and 171 long-range drones just overnight. They also said the country's air defenses destroyed or intercepted 157 out of this 171 drones. The Russian attack, by the way, came hours after President Volodymyr Zelensky announced that the next round of peace talks between Russian and Ukrainian delegations will take place on Wednesday and Thursday in UAE in the presence of negotiators from Washington as well. Over in Latin America, Venezuela's acting president Delcy Rodriguez hosted a U.S. diplomat on Monday, almost 1 month after the military operation which deposed and captured former leader Nicolas Maduro. Now, state television aired footage of the meeting between U.S. Charge d'Affaires Laura Dogu and Venezuelan officials, including Rodriguez herself, inside the presidential palace in Caracas. Now, the meeting took place 2 days after Dogu, who has previously served as ambassador to countries such as Nicaragua and the Honduras, arrived with a view to reopening the American diplomatic mission after 7 long years of severed ties. We get you the Venezuelan foreign minister's reaction on this.
Bueno, de la agenda común, sobre todo en los temas energéticos, temas comerciales, temas políticos, temas económicos y la instalación tanto en Venezuela de la representación diplomática del gobierno de los Estados Unidos, que estará encabezada por la señora Laura Dogu, como la instalación en Washington de nuestra representación diplomática, que la presidenta encargada ha designado a nuestro embajador Félix Plasencia como representante diplomático ante los Estados Unidos y estará instalándose con su equipo en los próximos días.
We shift our focus back to Asia, where China has released aerial footage of Hongguan Dao, also known as the Scarborough Shoal, filmed by fighter jets this time during recent patrols as military increases its presence in the disputed waters. This follows recent US-Philippine drills in the same area. Now, footage released on Saturday, as you see on your television sets right there, shows the jets flying in formation over the small island. The patrols followed a US-Philippines exercise held just last week, marking the 11th joint drill between the two allies since 2023 November, in an area of the South China Sea claimed by the Philippines and China both. Meanwhile, Manila maintains that the Scarborough Shoal, located approximately 200 kilometers from its coast, is within its sovereign maritime entitlements. A 2016 international tribunal in The Hague, nonetheless, found against China's claims to historic rights. Over in the Middle East, Israeli jets struck villages in southern Lebanon on Monday, targeting what the military said was military infrastructure belonging to the Hezbollah militant group this time. The strikes on at least 3 provinces come following a warning from the Israeli military's Arabic spokesperson, Avishai Andre, for residents to flee these 3 areas. No casualties were immediately reported. The building collapsed in a cloud of smoke, as you see right there, before paramedics and even civil defense workers rushed to the scene to put out the fire and rummage through the rubble. Shrapnel of the projectile could be seen scattered in the vicinity of the attack. Stay with the region, where medical evacuees from Gaza finally entered Egypt on Monday as the Rafah border crossing reopened. It marked a key step in the Israel-Hamas ceasefire, but a mostly symbolic one. Now, this because as few people will only be allowed to travel in either direction and no goods will pass through. Ambulances waited for hours together at the border before being able to ferry patients across after sunset. Egypt's state-run Al Qahira News satellite television channel has showed. The crossing had been closed since Israeli troops seized it in May 2024. Now, about 20,000 Palestinian children and adults alike needing medical care hope to leave the devastated territory via the Rafah crossing. President of the UAE is Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, and Vice President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, inaugurated the World Laureate Summit in Dubai this Sunday. The event represents the world's largest gathering of Nobel laureates and recipients of the prestigious scientific honors, alongside heads of leading research institutions as well. Footage shows officials and scientists attending various sessions together. Now, according to the Emirates News Agency, the summit runs alongside the World Government Summit, or the WGS 2026, which of course takes place between the 3rd and the 5th of February. At the start of 2026 Winter Olympics, coloured lights are being projected onto historic buildings, and light installations are in fact decorating the streets. Milan is hosting the Olympics together with Cortina. Meanwhile, Milan's Olympic Village, the famed Olympic Village, is coming back to life, with the first athletes already moving into the buildings built specifically for the Olympic Games. The village also, by the way, features several spaces designed for guests' relaxation and well-being. This includes a gym, a video game area, a bar, makeup areas, and of course, a large canteen. Well, with that, it's time we step into a short break. Much more lined up on the other side. Don't you go anywhere.
Just sorted my guaranteed over 50 plan with Sun Life. There's even a cash payout.
Nice one.
It's given me the confidence to look after myself. I've started learning jiu-jitsu.
Come on!
Sorry, love. Sensei's turned me into a lethal weapon.
Do you need a doctor?
Oh, no. With Sun Life, there's no medical questions.
Don't miss out on our limited time offer. Call or search Sun Life Plan today.
Discover the finest quality made-to-measure window dressings, exclusively online and delivered to your door. Shop now for an extra 15% off selected products at Blinds Direct.
Children don't start wars. They don't drop bombs or fire rockets, but they suffer. They get hurt. And too many children die. So, after one of the worst years we've ever seen, we're asking if you can pick a side, the side of children everywhere, by supporting Save the Children with a monthly donation. We might look at a crisis and feel overwhelmed. If it feels too complex or too political, you wonder if you can make a difference. But you can. Lana's story is proof of that. She was the first baby born in our emergency health unit in Gaza. Her mum had lost her home and was living in a tent when she went into labour, and our team helped her give birth safely. But days later, Lana became dangerously ill with sepsis. We treated her with antibiotics and round-the-clock care. And against incredible odds, this newborn baby in Gaza survived. Lana survived because help reached her. But right now, as you watch this, thousands more children urgently need food, medicine and care. Your £5 a month can help us save lives. Please, act now, because children need you to pick their side today. Search Save the Children to give £5 a month.
With People's Postcode Lottery, there could be springtime winning for your postcode. In our March draws, you could win a share of £17.3 million.
2026, here I come. This is just next level.
For a chance to win, sign up before midnight on the 28th of February. A share of £17.3 million could be yours, but only if your door is in the draw.
Gradually reduce grey is the easiest way with Control GX Grey Reducing Shampoo. Reduce a little grey every time you wash for subtle looking results. Control GX from Just for Men.
I don't sugarcoat. I shoot straight and tell you stories the way they need to be told. Unfiltered, unafraid, unmissable. That's how I roll. Watch me, Priyanka Deo, on NDTV World. Namaste.
When facts are fragmented, we put the pieces together. Where power collides with truth, we are there.
Behind me is that massive security arrangements that are in place.
Behind fractured boundaries, we clear the fog of war. Fault Lines with Gauri Dwivedi, only on NDTV World.
Welcome back. We now take you to updates from the world of business and technology, where Elon Musk SpaceX has acquired his AI company xAI. Now, this comes as part of an ambitious scheme to build space-based data centers to power the future of artificial intelligence. At least that's what Elon Musk is claiming. Now, the billionaire, who's also the CEO of Tesla, has announced a merger in a statement on Tuesday earlier this morning on the SpaceX website nonetheless. Musk said the merger will help to address the emerging question of how to meet power-hungry demands of artificial intelligence. Now, AI demand will require immense amounts of power and cooling that are not sustainable on Earth without imposing hardship on communities and the environment, Musk said. Space-based data centers that harness the power of sun are the only long-term solution, according to billionaire investor Elon Musk. Now we take you to the world of sports, where this isn't just a fixture under threat. It's the game that pays the bills. And even India versus Pakistan doesn't happen, even if it doesn't happen, the fallout won't stop at one match day alone. It could very well reshape the business, the very business of this World Cup and the future economics of cricket itself. Here's a report.
In modern cricket, some matches are bigger than trophies. India versus Pakistan in a T20 World Cup isn't just a fixture, it's the fixture. The game that bankrolls the tournament, the game that props up broadcast deals, the game that quietly pays for everyone else. So when Pakistan's government cleared participation in the World Cup but not the match against India, the silence was louder than any crowd. In a statement, the ICC said that they hope the PCB will consider the significant long-term implications for cricket in its own country. That wasn't diplomacy, that was a warning in the language cricket understands best. India-Pakistan in a T20 World Cup is valued at nearly $500 million when broadcast rights, advertising, sponsorships, ticketing, and downstream commercial activity, including legal betting, are added up. No other cricket match comes close. For broadcasters, it's the crown jewel. Pull it out and the entire financial architecture shifts. Each 10-second advertisement costs between 25 to 40 lakh rupees. Estimated revenue from the broadcaster from the game is around 300 crore rupees. The first hit lands with the broadcaster. A marquee game vanishing mid-cycle isn't inconvenience, it's lost value. Each World Cup match in the current rights cycle is internally valued at nearly 140 crore rupees. Once broadcasters claw money back, the ICC absorbs the shock and passes it on. Lower central revenue means smaller payouts, especially for boards that survive on ICC funding. Both India and Pakistan stand to lose roughly 200 crore if the match doesn't happen. For India, it's painful but manageable. For Pakistan, it's existential math. A voluntary withdrawal isn't force majeure, no insurance, no legal shield. There will be potential penalties, withheld payments, and even litigation. And then there are fans. Flights booked, hotels paid for, tickets in hand. For them, the loss is immediate and permanent. India versus Pakistan isn't just cricket anymore. It's the financial engine of the global game. Skipping it doesn't just dent the World Cup, it sends tremors through broadcasters, the ICC, board members, sponsors, and fans. And when the bill finally comes due, Pakistan may find the cost lasts far longer than the points table ever will. In New Delhi, Rika Roy for NDTV.
And finally, now my colleague Mayank gets you the movers, shakers, and of course, the newsmakers from the recently concluded Grammys 2026. Here's a report.
It's music's biggest night, the 68th Annual Grammy Awards, and the red carpet heat was pretty high, with pop music's biggest names strutting their most stylish self forward. Grammys are all about go big or go home. Mistress of Mayhem Lady Gaga wore not one, but three bold and gothic looks. A black gown covered in feathers, an archival Alexander McQueen piece with a giant cage-like headgear, and later a sharp black Chinese collar look designed by McQueen for the house of Givenchy. Gaga's prodigy, Chapel Roan, rocked a risque look with a draped wine-collared dress literally hanging off her body. Winner of Best New Artist Olivia Dean looked effortlessly dreamy in a black and white Chanel gown. And man-child hitmaker Sabrina Carpenter kept it pretty pleased in a shimmering Valentino. Recipient of Album of the Year, Bad Bunny wore the first ever Schiaparelli menswear look. And it wasn't just pretty clothes and sharp tuxes. Fashion was also political, as it should be. Multiple artists wore the Ice Out pin, voicing their protest against the ICE raids taking place in the US, reminding the world that art and its platform must speak for all. All over this year's Grammy was a knockout when it came to bold fashion and strong style statements. After all, it's the Grammys. Go big or go home.
Well, that's all the updates we have for you this Tuesday. Take care and have a wonderful day.
I don't sugarcoat. I shoot straight and tell you stories the way they need to be told. Unfiltered, unafraid, unmissable. That's how I roll. Watch me, Priyanka Deo, on NDTV World. Namaste.
Given the fact that India invested so much, the Prime Minister himself invested so much in the India-America relationship, are you extremely disappointed with the Trump administration and how transactional they're choosing to be?
Well, look, every government and certainly every American president has their own way of approaching the world. I grant you that in the case of President Trump, it's radically different from how his predecessors did. I think he himself would say that. We have right now a set of issues which the relationship is grappling with. I mean, to me, it's, look, foreign policy doesn't always, everything doesn't go your way all the time on all the issues, on all the relationships. So there will be issues, you know. It is with the US today, it could be with somebody else tomorrow. What you try to do is to engage and work through those issues, and we believe that there can be a landing point for our respective trade interests. Obviously, that is something which will be negotiated and negotiated hard because it has an implication for livelihoods in this country. You know, at the end of the day, for us, the interests of the workers and the farmers and the small business and the middle class matters. So when we look at a trade agreement with a country like the United States, you have to be extremely judicious about your position, about what you put on the table.
How optimistic are you at the moment? Are we days away, weeks away, months away, potentially years away from just the first part of the trade deal?
Well, look, diplomacy, you're always optimistic, because I'm not saying that as a way of stalling you, which I am, but also because, look, suddenly things can turn around. It can turn around on one weekend. I could tell you on Friday, oh, I don't think it's likely, and maybe it'll happen on Monday, and you will think that I was misleading you. So it can happen.
No, with Trump, we totally get it. Given the fact that on the other side of the negotiating table is President Trump, we won't blame you. We'll get why that happened.
So, we've had, there's no lack of communication. There's no lack of negotiation. It's something which has gone through multiple rounds. We have to see when the call is taken and on what terms. So if you ask me, could it happen soon? My answer would be, sure, very possible. If you say, well, maybe soon may take a little longer, maybe, I don't know.
Stories that define the day from every corner of the planet. I'm Arjun Samar Mahindran, and this is the Tuesday edition of the World Report. India and the US have agreed to a trade deal under which Washington will slash its tariffs on Indian goods to 18% from the current 50% in exchange for New Delhi halting Russian oil purchases and lowering trade barriers, US President Donald Trump has said. The American leader has also announced the deal on social media following a call with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, noting that India would now buy oil from the US and potentially Venezuela at that. PM Modi said he was delighted that made in India products will now have a reduced tariff of 18%. The Prime Minister said that when two large economies in the world's largest democracies work together, it benefits people and unlocks immense opportunities for mutually beneficial cooperation. My colleague Kate Fisher gets you the latest from Washington, D.C. But first, let's listen in to what PM Modi said just a few moments ago.
नमस्ते प्रधानमंत्री जी यूएस डील की शुभकामनाएं
सर यूएस डील
US President Donald Trump broke news of the deal on social media following a phone call with the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Tariffs on Indian products will drop from 25% to 18%, while the president said that US goods will enter India tariff-free. But he didn't specify when this would start. Indeed, the post was scant on detail, and the White House has not followed up with more. The breakthrough seems to have come with Prime Minister Modi's promise to stop buying Russian oil and instead buy much more from the US or, as Donald Trump suggested, also from Venezuela. The president says that Mr. Modi has also committed to, quote, buy American, and that was in full capital letters, along with an additional $500 billion to be spent on US energy, technology, agriculture and coal. Although in his post, the Prime Minister made no mention of either the oil or the extra investment. Now, previous trade deals with other major Asian trading partners like Japan and South Korea have included commitments to invest hundreds of billions of dollars into US industries. But the India announcement did not mention any specific investments. It will be a tall task for India to end its import of Russian oil, given that it makes up more than a third of India's overall oil imports. But President Trump said that Prime Minister Modi had agreed to replace India's Russian crude imports with oil from Venezuela and the US.
And I'm now joined by my colleague Vishal Vivek, who will give us the lowdown of the other pivotal deals New Delhi has inked in the recent past. Over to you, Vishal.
There are several deals that India has signed in the last 12 months or so. We'll look at some of the major ones right now. The first one, of course, is the big India-UK trade deal What does it entail? It entails duty-free access, job opportunities, cheap British car and whiskey, plus big agriculture and farmer benefits. These are some of the takeaways of the big India-UK deal. Moving on, we have the India-Oman Economic Partnership Agreement. This is also a historic deal. Under this, there will be a boost to bilateral trade, generate employment, and also there will be strengthening of the supply chains that dominate